Starting. I've had funky internet this morning too, so that is also not helping the flow of the day. So, well, welcome everyone to orientation. I appreciate you taking some time to talk with us here about, all things United Way. So we'd like to do this orientation twice a year for any new individual that is coming into the organization. So that could be volunteers, that could be staff, that could be board members. And we kind of just give that high level overview of what United Way of the Greater Chippewa Valley does. And then for your specific roles, there's further orientations once you get involved with those advisory councils or board or whatever it may be. So what I want to start off with is just some introductions so that everyone can get to know each other a little bit more. So what I'm looking for is your name and the organization that you represent, and then you're tied to United Way. So, what group you're joining, and then we'll go from there. So I'll just call on people, but I can start. You all either have met me or have seen my name come across your email. Andy Naborak, the executive director at United Way, have been in this role for 1.5 years. And really happy to be part of United Way and really help support our mission in Chippewa and Eau Claire counties. So I'll go next to Kelly.
I'm Kelly Christensen, the lead community impact director here at United Way. I've been here for about 2 years, but prior to that, I've got 30 plus years in the nonprofit world, all of which were United Way program partners.
We'll go Kaylee next.
Good morning. I'm Kaylee Foster. I'm the Director of Resource Development for the United Way of the Greater Chippewa Valley. And I apologize, I was a couple minutes late. We were just getting Kelsey, our events intern, set up with a couple technical difficulties, so I will let her introduce herself next.
Hi, my name is Kelsey, and I'm the new event planning intern here at United Way. I just started at the beginning of January, and I'll be helping out through the end of June.
All right, we'll go to Kyle next.
Good morning, everyone. Kyle Darley, I'm the board chair with the United Way. I also work at the Darley Company as the manager of technology, research, and development. What really attracts me to the United Way is the fact that we work hard to really collaborate with folks in the community to make lives better. So, being that we can give back is really something I care deeply about, and I'm really excited to have all of you on the call today and to get to know you guys.
All right, we'll go to Brooke next.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brooke Bird. I am representing Mayo Clinic Health System. I will be joining the Health Advisory Council. I am new in my role at Mayo as the Director of Community Engagement. I'm on month 2 in that role, but have a longstanding history with nonprofits and the university in this area, and have worked in some way, shape, or form with United Way for the last 15, 20 years. So thank you.
Brooke, we'll go to Ryan next.
Hi, I'm Ryan Erickson. I represent Commonweal Development. So we do commercial real estate in the Greater Chippewa Valley or Western Wisconsin. I'm a lifelong resident of the Chippewa Valley, and I just joined the Gulf Committee, so helping with Kaylee and Sean and Kristen help plan the event. So I'm excited to be involved and help make that event even better than it has been, and try to support the United Way through that.
Great, thank you. Jennifer?
Hi, I'm Jen Andrag. I work at CVTC. I'm the Director of Enrollment Services here, and I recently joined the Fiscal Stability Committee.
Sarah?
Good morning. I am Sarah Grania with Great Northern Corporation in Chippewa Falls. I work in sales development. Our general manager is a former campaign cabinet chair and encourages us to be involved with United Way. We think it's a great organization to support in the community. And I have joined Team Leadership Circle. So we are the Leadership Circle Advisory Board.
All right, and Corey.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Corey Knudsen, work at HIP Services as well with Sarah. I'm in Team Leadership Circle. And one of the things we're excited to is drive the growth in that leadership circle community. So hopefully you guys see some information coming from our team on ways to do that and ways you guys can help out and get involved with that. So excited to be here.
Great. Okay, I think that is everyone. So I am just finding my screen here. Like I said, something is going on with my computer, so that is adding a hiccup, as we've all seen with technical stuff over the last couple of years. But I just want to start off with, our mission, vision, and values, and really want to kind of display that on the screen here. So you'll see that. Can everyone see my screen? So you can see those things. I'm not going to read all of them word for word, but I always like to look at our mission statement and take a look at a couple of key things that I pull out of that. And really, it's improving lives and bringing resources together. So as United Way, what we really try to do is make a great impact in our community, build people up through collaboration. So we understand that, as a collective group, we can accomplish more than any one individual or organization can alone. So if we improve the lives of those individuals, everything that individual touches can be stronger in that community. So, whether that's the, school they go to, the business they work at, the organization they're a part of, if we improve that person's life, then it can have that ripple effect and build a stronger community as a result. So we really look to live that mission and really work towards that day in and day out. I also have our organizational chart, and bear with me just a second. All right. I'll touch quickly as I'm pulling that up to United Way, of course, is a large network. So it's a worldwide organization. There's a lot of different United Ways in different communities. And one of the ways that United Way is very unique is that each one can run kind of how they would like. So, we all work through health, education, financial stability, and some support basic needs as well. But each organization can meet the needs of their community at that time. So that's one of the great benefits of United Way, but it's also that you have that network of other United Ways that you can, tap into for, different things that you may need. So the power of the network is another great value add for United Way, and one that we look to continue to utilize. All right, so now I have my organizational chart. So I'll pull that up. And if you can see this on the screen, it's a little bit non-traditional, right? It's not kind of that top-down organizational chart. We look at, really the partnerships within the organization. So you'll see all the staff is in the circles here, and we all surround the mission. We all work for the mission, and that's how we operate here. But each staff works with, committees or advisory councils of different sorts, and there's strong partnerships within our organization. So you heard me mention that at the beginning, and the staff and volunteer partnerships are really crucial to our success. So, myself and Kyle, as an example, is a partnership, for the leadership of the organization. But you heard from Kaylee and Kelly as well, and they each have volunteer leaders that really help them, strengthen that area of their organization. So Kaylee on the resource development side, Kelly has advisory council chairs within those councils that she has, and the same goes for Isabella and Rachel and Lance that have different committees or cabinets or councils that work with them. One addition with Kathy, you see that she's our operations director and works with our leadership circle signers. She also works with team leadership circle. So there's a couple on the call that are working towards that effort. And so those are some of the groups that we have on that front there. So that is our org chart. And from there, would like to kind of just move on to community impact, and Kelly's going to give us an overview there.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. So community impact is a relatively new concept. It's about 8 years old here at United Way. Back in 2014, we shifted from funding great organizations doing great work to the community impact model. That community impact model really focuses on shared outcomes, being data driven, and really looking at root causes. so that we're all kind of going towards the same goal. And when we invest our funding, and we're investing, in that area. So we have 4 initiatives, like Andy said. So we have education, and each of those initiatives has a bold goal. So for education, the bold goal is children in the Chippewa Valley will enter school ready to succeed. Financial stability is Chippewa Valley residents will achieve self-sufficiency through employment, training, and personal money management skills. The health initiative is mental health of the Chippewa Valley residents will improve by utilizing prevention and intervention programs. And our United Way focuses also on basic needs, which are the here and the now. And that is Chippewa Valley residents will have access to food, shelter, and medical services in their time of need. So the bold goal kind of drives the bus, if you will. And then underneath the bold goal is where we have our shared outcomes. And all of the organizations that we invest in have to be able to measure those shared outcomes. So it's not like everybody's going off doing their own thing. They're all coordinating and going towards that same bold goal, which really, in my mind, gives us a real big impact, big bang for our buck, if you will, going towards that one goal. We have a 3-year grant cycle. COVID made this last one a 4-year grant cycle, but we just wrapped up the application process for the funding cycle coming up, and that is for the 2022-2025 years. And we've committed to investing $1 million a year across those 4 initiatives. And we divide that $1 million equally amongst the 4 initiatives. So each initiative gets $250,000. So with that, I'll turn that over to Kaylee, I think.
Thanks, Kelly. So yeah, how do we do all of this great work? So that's where resource development comes in order to invest that $1 million each year into these wonderful programs, we need to raise a great deal of funds. So we do that through individual gifts, generous leadership circle gifts that are those that are giving at the $500 level or greater each year. And we do that through community partnerships and campaigns where employees can give directly through payroll deductions. So different sources of revenue, but again, a lot of fundraising goes into being able to fund those great programs. And I will turn it over to Kyle.
All right. Next on the agenda, we're going to talk a little bit about the strategic plan. Very similar to our bold goals in the focus areas, we have 4 initiatives on our strategic plan. The first one being increasing our impact. So Kelly talked a little bit about, where we try to focus our impact and what that actually means to the Chippewa Valley. But in order to continue our efforts, we really want to make sure that's something that we build our tactical plan to support the strategic plan around. In addition, we really look for increasing or target increasing our resources. In doing so, that really means not only increasing the dollars coming in, as Kaylee spoke to, but also increasing a lot of those volunteers. So folks like yourselves, how do we encourage and engage you guys in what we're trying to do to support the Chippewa Valley? So that's the second one. The third goal is really to strengthen our core. In the last couple of years, we've been working on some rebuilding and basically pulling new staff members on board, Kelsey being one of the newest ones to join the team, in helping develop them, empower them so they can really achieve their success in their given focus area. Additionally, that means, how do we make our volunteers successful? So we really want to set people up for success in the organization, and that's how that strengthening the core comes into our strategic plan. Strengthening our community presence, what we're trying to do there is essentially build our message. We're creating impact. We've got a great staff and a group of volunteers that are out in the community driving results, but what do we do to share that message? So we're really trying to get out there, do a better job of marketing that impact, telling the why. Why are we doing what we're doing? What results is the work that we're doing driving? So those are some of the things that we focus on strategically. Our strategic planning cycle goes out for 3 years. Based on the COVID expansion of our last grant cycle, we're looking at pushing the strategic planning cycle to last, or I guess the strategic plan to last 4 years so we can get back in the rhythm that we had in the past. So this year we're in that strategic planning phase. We've got some community conversations coming up. The community conversations give us the opportunity to not only engage the community, but understand if what our efforts are aligned with the interests of all of our stakeholders. Those stakeholders being donors, volunteers, staff, program partners, maybe some of the nonprofits in the Chippewa Valley that are potential program partners down the road, but really capturing that voice and ensuring that our strategic direction is well aligned. I'll move on to the board of directors composition. What we've got there is really a nice balance of representatives from Eau Claire and Chippewa Falls. Andy and I spend a lot of time talking about how we're going to recruit the right people from the right geographic location. And overall, the United Way, what we want to do is get people that are invested in the Chippewa Valley as a whole. And we believe there are people in Chippewa and Eau Claire that are all fully vested in that. But our bylaws really require us to identify leadership roles and split them into or alternate between Chippewa Falls and Eau Claire in the same year. So I'll quickly share my screen and show you guys how that looks over time and really the why behind that. So give me just a second here. So you should be seeing a table. It might be small right now. Let me zoom in. That shows our board leadership structure. Right now, we've got a chair from Chippewa Falls, myself, and a campaign chair from Eau Claire. So that's that alternating role. And below those two positions, we really have that continuation plan or succession plan, however you'd like to refer to it. And as we identify those particular individuals, what we try to do is structure it so when we get to a point where the chair is terming out in either campaign or at the board level, we have a nice candidate that's prepared to take that on and ready to step into the role while being mindful of that geographic location. In addition to our board leadership, we have a lot of leadership at the advisory council levels. One leader that really the advisory councils report up to, that being the CIC chair or community impact chair. Golf committee, as we've talked a little bit about today. And really at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is ensure that we've got good resources across the board that can support the initiatives that we take on as a group. So without any more, I guess I'll open up the floor for any questions that people may have on how that looks, how we look to develop that list of volunteers and staff. Any questions at this time? All right, seeing none and a few heads shake, I'll turn it back over to Andy for the TriAnnual Cycle review.
Yep. So we talked a little bit about grant cycle and how all of that works. So, I just want to touch on, some of the different timelines that we work with here at United Way. And so we work on a fiscal year, July to June. So, when we're investing dollars in the community or we're collecting dollars for our campaign, you look kind of in that July to June timeframe. But that also fits into a 3-year grant cycle and a 3-year strategic planning cycle. So the two need to kind of work together. You have your strategic plan that you set and you plan for your fiscal year annually with different goals in mind and measurable goals as a team, whether it be staff or advisory councils or volunteers that really, look to support that strategic plan. So as an example, our team, got together here last spring leading into our beginning of our fiscal year in July. And, we had our strategic plan in front of us and looked and said, okay, where do we still need to do some work within this strategic plan. And we were heading into the last year of that strategic plan. And, we set our annual goals based off of that strategic plan. And then we can measure what has been done, in the previous years of that strategic plan. That strategic plan is also meant to really help feed into, our 3-year grant cycle. So the timing of that is unique. And as Kyle mentioned, things got a little bit wonky with COVID, but, that community conversation and that strategic plan can really support the work that we're going to do within that grant cycle. So for example, if in a hypothetical world, we said, okay, we have really taken care of kindergarten readiness, and now we've got a greater need in education. That community conversation and strategic planning process could say, okay, maybe the advisory council can look at, shifting that focus within that initiative. I say hypothetical because that's, not where we're at. But, if we were to shift focus, again, that's a powerful piece of United Way of being able to, kind of move where we're focusing our efforts based on what the community need is at any given time. So the two do need to work together and really be able to support each other as far as, what's being done on that fiscal year basis versus what's being done on an every 3-year cycle as well. Questions on that? I know sometimes that can get a little bit confusing. We've got a chart that we have that I kind of spare you from because there's a lot of different colors and columns to it. And if I put that on the screen, your heads would probably spin. So it makes sense to us internally for the most part, but a little bit easier to explain verbally. So kind of want to go into some next steps and really look at that from 2 different ways. So first of all, as far as your involvement with United Way, what's next for you? Some of you may have already joined the advisory councils or committees that you're on, so you've gotten that more detailed orientation or guidance over what your role looks like. Some of you may not have, and you'll get that, within those volunteer and staff leadership positions with the groups that you're a part of. So that's kind of the next steps for you as individuals being a part of United Way. Also want to touch on, what's next for United Way. What is coming down the pipeline for us? So, looking at that strategic plan and increasing our impact, we've really placed a big focus on that here in the last couple years. The needs of the community are certainly not getting less and less. So we continue to be approached for, different initiatives that we'd like to take on as a team. So Kelly and I just had conversations earlier this week about, some work in youth homelessness that is a need in our community. So emerging needs that are needing a leader. So can United Way step in and help that? Childcare is an emerging need. Maybe not emerging, it's been existing for a long time, but it's an area that, again, United Way can step in and lead and facilitate progress and growth of impact. Digital equity is another area that we've seen over particularly the last 2 years, challenges with connection to internet, having reliable devices, and being able to connect to the internet for a multitude of reasons is being a challenge, particularly in our rural communities. So can United Way step up to the plate and have a seat at that table to try to make impact in that area? So those are some new things that are coming for United Way. Where we're going to find the time to be able to execute all those things is a great question that we're going to continue to answer. But true to our mission, it's going to be a collaboration, right? If we took all this on as a staff, it would never be something that we'd be able to have great impact with. So, we'll continue to take that collaborative approach, that partnership approach, and say, how can we as a community, along with our partners, really help solve problems and take that solutions-minded approach. So that's something we're excited about. We're certainly excited about heading into a grant cycle and investing $1 million in funds every year, but we're also excited to be a well-rounded organization that, can really help drive impact in other areas as well. So as we'll continue to put pressure on Kaylee to raise resources to support those efforts, we'll hopefully be able to grow the work that we're able to do in the community. So that's kind of what's next for United Way as a team. And as you saw, on the chart that Kyle showed, strengthening our core is a very critical piece of our plan as well. And that's why, all of you are here to try to strengthen the different pieces of our organization. But you saw vacant on a couple spots on that board chart as well. So, we're looking at building that succession and leadership in the various areas of our organization also. So always a work in progress, and always need to be putting feelers out there to who really wants to help move the community forward and who wants to really join us in our mission. So I want to thank all of you for saying yes to whatever was offered to you to really help move that impact forward. So I will open it up for general questions here, and where we're looking for time, we're going to let you out here quite a bit early. So any questions anyone has about anything? Okay, quiet group. Well, I'm going to give everyone some time back on your calendar. So, kind of wanted to just give a brief overview on the organization and what we're doing. And hopefully it makes, some of the detail work that you're doing within whatever committee or council you're on make a little bit more sense, because you can see the big picture of what's outside of your role. So by all means, if any questions arise after the fact, you know how to get a hold of me. And again, want to just thank you for your time and for being a part of United Way of the Greater Chippewa Valley.
Thank you, Andy and team.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a good day, everyone.
Have a good weekend.